What are you guys doing that really you feel will connect with fans when it comes to the gameplay itself?
So, Witcher 3 is more about being a Witcher. And I know it sounds weird, but it actually is, in a way that, for example, we have so many monsters that are very unique. And if you want to do monster hunting in a game, just go ahead. You can do it for hours and hours and hours. You can hunt them, you can gather information about them, and it's a super, super fun experience. So you can, if you want, you just abandon, that bit, and you just go being a Witcher. And that thing, for me personally, is super cool. You always have the story, super, super important, but then here and there, Geralt needs to eat. So he needs to do contracts and kill things. And he does. And this is super cool. This is something that in Witcher 2, that was not a prominent role, and in Witcher 3, it comes back and shines very, very brightly.
Decapitation is one of the new things you guys are doing here. Talk a little about how you guys are inspired maybe when it comes to pop culture, things like Game of Thrones and big screen movies.
So obviously we're all the people, working CD Projekt geeks, and we watch all the movies, all the TV series, read all the books, the comics, and it's really hard to tell what was, the one inspiration, but it's a really, really good place to be because, years ago when you told somebody, yeah, we're doing a mature fantasy game, it's like, what? How can you do that? It's so silly, dragons, elves, whatever. People didn't understand well, but for now, if they're not really into games, but if you reference Game of Thrones, yeah, you can do that actually. Yeah, I've watched it, it's great. I don't really feel it's a fantasy, it's a great story. And this helps us a lot in many ways because we can say, yeah, it's kind of, the feeling that you would have for good story. And it's not necessarily needs to be a fantasy, a sci-fi, whatever. It's just a good story. It's rooted in fantasy and it's great, but it's just a good story. And every good story, when it's good, you just enjoy it. And it's a really, really great time to be because you have those classical things like Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, those kind of things. People love them. You love them very, very deeply. But you also have the different approach, like Game of Thrones, and you can try to reference that in a way that people would understand, even though they're not gamers. And it helps us a lot, explaining to people to say, okay, did you like Game of Thrones? Did you like Lord of the Rings? Okay, so we'll have massive battles, or we have something like this or something. And it's really helps out to see that, the world is going geekier, and we are part of that culture, and we want it to be as broad as possible.
Speaking of broad, there's nothing broader than television. I understand there was a Witcher TV show a long time ago in Poland, but what potential do you see with that moving forward with the popularity of things like Game of Thrones and of this new game?
Well, as I mentioned on the panel, actually, it's The Witcher is based on books by Andrzej Sapkowski, and he is the right owner, in terms of the film rights and the TV rights. So obviously, would love an HBO show about The Witcher. There's personally, I would watch the hell out of that. But this is not something that we do actually. So we're focused on doing games, and this is a thing that we know how to do. We are not producing television, we're not producing movies, so we really don't know. If somebody capable came to Andrzej Sapkowski and said, hey, we're HBO, we want to do a Witcher, because Game of Thrones is ending, whatever, let's do that. Great. There are only small things that will make me happier.